I figured I would watch this back and just talk about some of the thought process behind each route because I think when you watch Bingo live, the commentators just don't really know what we're doing most of the time, and it's not their fault because there's a lot of routing on the fly and you're trying to guess where people are going. So, if you're unfamiliar with the format, basically Bingo is we have 25 random goals that we've never seen in this combination before. We've seen all these goals at some point in time, but never in this formation, so we have to create an original route. So 2v2 means that we have teams of two. We cannot, like, co-op goals. So, like 600 combined gems. I can't get 300 and let Silver get 300 in the other level. One player has to satisfy all the requirements of the goal to mark it off. Lockout means that once it's been marked off, it cannot be marked off by another runner in the game. And blackout means we're going for a majority, not just a row or column. Think I explained that well? From my point of view? Well, I guess we'll see. Hopefully I can explain everybody's point of view, though. But anyway. So me and Silver are in a voice call. Wet and Spud are in a voice call. We're trying to figure out where to go first. And we're looking at the board, and the top board here, I'm gonna explain with it. But all of these goals require access to Winter Tundra. That's 10, so that's quite a bit. So we're both thinking, actually, at this point in time, that we're both gonna end up in Winter Tundra. The thing with going to Winter is it's such an investment. It's like 2 minutes to do Gulp Skip, and then another 2 minutes to do Gulp, and then another minute and a half to get Fireball. So usually one person goes forward and one person stays back. But in this game, I think everyone in the game was thinking of getting to Winter Tundra at some point. But as far as opening plays for the other people, Silver went for All Gems Fracture because there's a 14 power up there, and there is a butterfly draw there. And I think there's one other thing. Yeah, Fawn. So that was a good opening play. I actually really like that play. But Spud, we're getting into it now. Spud is the only one in the game that started by doing something in Glimmer. So Spud's getting a bunch of gems because Spud is planning on doing Zephyr pretty early, which you need 400 gems to access. He's thinking that one, Draclets and Calyx, and I really like this play too, because Draclets is in the same level as George and Fawn. Sorry, George. So that kind of works out. Zephyr does have a Butterfly Jar. It's got Calyx UFOs too. It has a Fireball power-up. So it's a pretty good... Let's watch this back. The fucking massive proxy in the top right. I don't know why Wed went for this proxy, but it was pretty fucking sick. But I think I ended up ahead of him getting into Crush, so I wonder what happened. He talked to Zoe or something? Oh, he misses the out of bounds jump. Okay. So yeah. That's Spud's opening plays. Crystal into Zephyr, which I think is really good. Um, I don't think there's anything else in Crystal form though, other than George and Draclets. The Draclets has good gems, so that's like another good play if you're going to go into Zephyr. Crystal's the first portal in Autumn Plains, and yeah, he's continuing to gem up a lot. So good plays all around. I think everyone chose a pretty smart opening route. Yeah, we were all in Crush together. Definitely the most boring part of the run, but it's good that we all went there immediately because the commentators just have so much to explain here, and they don't know. Kind of like there's a lot of. I just explained what we did do. There's so many different things you could do. Because I mean, we've got like this stuff. 14. Like this is all good summer forest stuff you could do, right? And nobody went there. But anyway, coming out of Crush, Wed and I immediately rush. He gets the homeworld orb. I remember that. I don't because I wasn't thinking about 20 orbs at the time, but I probably should have been because I did end up having to get this orb later. But it was funny when we all went to climb skip. So now Silver's on climb skip. The commentators are like, is like everyone rushing here or what? But no, I was the only one on red to go to climb skip. Oh, and we get a butterfly jar. I forgot to mention another thing that Silver did as we came out of Glimmers. He got another butterfly jar, and he started to look at this because he got a few gems in Summer Forest Homeworld. 100% Summer Forest doesn't mean every level in Summer Forest, like all 6 levels plus the Homeworld plus the Speedway. It's just the Homeworld gems and orbs. So Spud is working on Draclets and getting 500 gems, which requires some enemies. Silver is doing an all gems route and trying to get that 14 power up. Ash. He's doing the optimal all gems route for this level. This is actually a super annoying level to do all gems for when you don't have Fireball. And he doesn't know Satyrless, which I don't know if it would be worth learning, but there are gems in the tally room. So you definitely have to get into the tally room at some point, whether you free all the satyrs or not. There's no other reason, I think, though, to not do Satyrless. No goals relating to freeing satyrs, but so yeah, that's what we got on the left. And then on the right we have Draclets into Zephyr. Ignite 4 rockets? I mean, it means you have to enter 4 levels, right? So that's pretty out of the way. Because every level you enter is just adding like 20 seconds of loads. Yeah, there is also only 6, and 2 of them are in Winter Tundra. And 1 of them is in Shady, which requires 400 gems to enter. So it's not out of the way if you've done Theater and you're in Winter Tundra. But yeah, there's 1 in Idle, 1 in Cloud, 1 in Colossus, Robotica, Shady, and Skelos. Yeah, I'm the first one out of Gulp. I'm on a really good pace, actually. I even get the Penguin proxy up here. And now I'm thinking about 20 orbs, so I do get this orb, even though it's my first one. And Spud has done Draclets and is entering Zephyr. Silver is still working on Fracture. Wed is now into Winter Tundra. Yeah, right here. He has realized that there's a butterfly jar back here. That's good. I don't know if you can you see the cursor? No. You can see the cursor. Sometimes. The hell? Yeah, so I've got Fireball. Gonna do Theater. I don't know if it was the play, because that locks me out of buying Climb and Head Bash. But I never really had that on the radar. Like, coming to Winter Tundra, I was like, these two challenges in green, I did not have any plans of doing, basically. And seeing my pace, also, Wed unfortunately misses the DS portal, then backs it up with a sick Penguin proxy. But yeah, because of my pace, I figured I could do this pretty unimpeded. Which also gave you this, or at least half of that. So Robotica was like the pretty obvious early gameplay coming out of Dragon Shores. The portal is right there, and it's got 2.5 goals in it on its own. And then you've got all end of level orbs, so that's also part of it. And that also ties into Hundo Cloud and anything Metropolis. Then there's Hundo Cloud with Bells and Ox and Cloud Temple orbs. Then there was All Gems Marsh that you could do all in. Like, there's so much stuff in winter, and it was all so fast. Because usually when you get to Winter Tundra, it's like you have goals that are like Juliet Earthshapers, where it's not even in Winter Tundra. You just need to have gone there and bought the ability. Or stuff like unlock all speedways, where once again, like, you only do one thing in Winter Tundra, and the rest of it is in the rest of the game. But this was like so self-contained. Like, you could do this stuff, this, like, or sorry, not that one. Like, all this stuff was just in Winter Tundra alone. There was no like going anywhere else. Anyway, Silver's out of Fracture. I kind of missed him finishing that up. He is not marked the goal for all gems in Fracture, even though he got it, because he's seen that Spud is in not Fracture and thinking he might go to Fracture. So he's kind of letting that hang. It's not who gets the goal first, it's who marks it first, basically. As soon as me and Wed did the same route, no. And I'll explain in a second why. Because technically we didn't do the same route. We did the same level order, but the goals we went for in each level were different. But yeah, Silver has done Fawn, so he's about to get Georgian Fawn with all gems Fracture. And he's really just thinking about where Spud is going next. Because, like I was saying, we were all thinking of going to Winter Tundra. But I think at this point in the game, Silver was still seeing so much stuff. Which, to be fair, there was a ton of stuff. Right, because he could go to you did kind of push your luck with not marking this goal. But regardless, oh, and I missed a gem. I missed 2 gems in this, by the way. Which fucking, you can see it in the background there. just because I'm so used to having extra sparks range. But and also this board is a little bit ahead of the gameplay. There was like a 10-second delay on the gameplay, but not the board. So I mark all orbs Robotica. Wed is going for 100% Robotica, but he sees that I've got the orbs, so the orbs he knows are pretty close to being at the end of the Hundo route. So he just goes for the end of level orb and then dips out. I have missed gems, so I cannot leave yet. But so Silver entering Skelos, because there's Dinos 1 there. Not sure I'm like super on board with this idea. Because he's already got 114 power up, and he could have gone to like Breeze and then gone to Aquaria. Aquaria also has all Fireball power ups, and then you could go to like Sunny Beach. And I guess he'd still have to go to Zephyr, but either way. So yeah, Wed is now like way ahead of me on the path of doing Robotica into the Metropolis stuff. Metropolis has Ox. That's UFOs too, but I don't think neither Wed or I were planning on doing that. Oh right, score. Yeah, all Fireball is pretty long one, I guess. That's a good point. Yeah, and then this goes into you do Bells, which is in Cloud, Hundo Cloud, and then all end of level orbs. You do that with all gems Mystic. So yeah, me and Wed were clearly thinking like, oh, and finally Silver marks off George and Fawn and all gems and Fracture. It didn't really matter because it turns out Spud was deciding to do Gulp Skip at this point. Yeah, so Spud does both Cowlicks. This is like this is his opening route, and I'm not super on board with it because there's so much stuff he could have still done. Knowing that I've already got 2 out of the 8 Winter Tundra goals that are in Winter Tundra alone. And me and Wed are both in Metropolis, like, he must know that by the time he gets to Winter Tundra, me and Wed are going to be done with Winter Tundra, because all the goals are so fast. But yeah. Silver goes back to Summer Forest. Obviously, 1,000 Summer Forest gems and Spirit Statues are on his mind. I don't know if he lit the rocket, probably though, but there is a rocket in Colossus. Wed is out of Metropolis, and one thing I could have done differently is I could have skipped UFOs because I was never going to do this challenge. And then this 5 orbs in Cloud Metropolis would have been Ox, the end of level orb, and then 100% in Cloud. Like, I could have done that. But my thoughts were just, I wasn't committing to doing Hundo Cloud. I just wanted to do the gems. And so Ash asked if it was like an execution thing at this point. Because we're on the same route, but me and Wed are not on the same route. So Wed is thinking Hundo Cloud because he's ahead of me in the level order. So he's thinking, I'm just gonna do what Zach would usually do and do like Hundo Cloud, which is gonna be all this, and then I'll go to Marsh and get all gems in Marsh and end of level orbs. And I was not, for the first time, I decided to not do any of that stuff. I didn't want to get gems in Mystic or Cloud, basically. So Silver, getting orbs. I imagine this is to unlock Ocean Speedway. Or all gems 3 speedways and the 100%. Oh, he's also doing 100% Summer Forest. Okay. So right here, I get sniped top right. Wed is doing bells. He already has Ox, so he's gonna get bells and Ox. He also has 5 orbs in Cloud and Metropolis, but he hasn't marked it. And like I said, it's not about who marks it first. Or sorry, it's not about who gets the goal first, but who marks it first. So he he forgets to mark it, or chooses not to mark it, I don't know. But I'm gonna snipe him back on this challenge. But he's still collecting gems. And I'm like, not at all thinking about gems. And I'm just gonna get the end of level orb and get the fuck out of here. It didn't really change things a lot because, like, if you watch the VOD and you mark goals as they happen, it still would end up 13 to 8. Spoiler. But so I basically, by 100%ing Robotica, he thought I would 100% Cloud. And by me not 100%ing Cloud, I get this head start on Mystic Marsh. Or the all end of level orbs, and then getting out of Winter Tundra to go back to Popcorn 1. Which was huge. Spud has gotten to Winter Tundra, so he's going to get Fireball, and then go do UFOs too, because he already has Calyx too. Once again, I wasn't super on board with this play. I think that the goals in Winter were just so fast that you either had to rush immediately or not at all. Because, like, we're already in our last level of Winter Tundra, and Spud has yet to get out of Dragon Shores. And that's not because he had, like, a bad gulp or anything. Like, he did the boss rush perfectly fine. He just waited till after he was out of Zephyr and Crystal, which is just, like, so late already in the run. Alright, where is Silver going now? So yeah, once again, Wed. Wed is thinking all gems in Marsh, but then he realizes that I've skipped all the gems in every level and just rushed the end of level orbs. End of level orbs is just all of the orbs at the end of Winter Tundra levels. Also, just 22, 23. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, Wed does do theater. So him and I are both locked out of Climb and Head Bash. So I guess technically if the game went on after it ended, Spud would have gotten this one, like 100%. Because Silver wasn't going to Winter Tundra. And Wed and I doing theater locks us out of buying abilities goals, basically. Alright. So Wed realizes I'm going back for this goal. So he tries to race me to it, but I'm already like way ahead. Mm. Yeah, I guess Silver could have gone to Winter Tundra for Climb and Head Bash at the end if you wanted to. But yeah, so I think, like, I'm pretty sure me and Silver agreed to both go to Winter, but it just like stuff just kept lining up for Silver to stay in Summer Forest. Like, this overlaps really fucking well. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Yeah, so like doing Ocean Speedway and 100% in Summer is already 800 gems. So between that and there's a few other reasons to be in Summer. Like I said, 14 Fireball power-ups are gonna put you in levels where you're getting more gems. And whatever you got in Glimmer. Yeah, so there's me getting Popcorn 1 Tractor Path, and Wed immediately leaving because He's been sniped to it. And then we see Spud in the bottom right getting UFOs too, because he already has Calyx too. And now at this point for me, I'm thinking that Wed is going to go back and finish doing these two goals, which he does. He just goes right back to Winter Tundra. So I'm thinking of getting 20 orbs and ignite 4 rockets, because I don't think anyone's going to go for these. So if I go back and try to do Marsh, and he enters Marsh first, I'm going to get sniped. If I go back and do Cloud and he enters Cloud first, like, I had no way of knowing what he'd be doing first in Winter Tundra, so I decided to just go for stuff that he wouldn't go for, which happened to be these 2 goals in red. So I enter Skelos, I light this rocket, and then I get the 2 Dinos orbs, or 20 orbs, because they're very fast. So yeah, Silver checks his guidebook. He sees that he needs however many gems he's calculated. And he is in a great level because you have Fireball power-ups and 14 power-ups in this level. So I imagine he's going to be killing all the enemies. And where are we going here, Spud? Spud is in Scorch. Also not fully on board with this play. It's got... Does it have like any butterfly jars at all? Yeah, so Scorch doesn't have any butterfly jars. All it has is Fireball power-ups, I think. That's like literally all I'm seeing. Oh right, there is one. Yes, you're right. Oh, and also, yeah, I get fucking owned here. So I'm thinking of orbs. I need to get the one on the island. I go for double frog. I get the proxy. It's too good. I hit left, I go right because of the overflow speed. So that was cool. Wed has a butterfly jar, I guess. Spoiler alert, nobody actually cares about butterfly jars in this game. Like, they just didn't line up. But yeah, I think Silver's in the perfect spot he wants to be in. I think I'm doing the right thing. Wed, I think, needs to be doing whatever he thinks I'm doing. So if he thinks that I was going to go back and do Marsh, then I think this is the right play for him. Because once you're down in a bingo match, you have to start sniping, basically. Like, you cannot go for a different goal that the other team isn't going for. Because, like, that's what happens for the rest of the game, is I get 2 goals and Wed gets 2 goals, because we go for entirely different things. So yeah, it looks like Spud just did the power-up and is gone. Silver's got his 1,000 Summer Forest Gems. And I assume he did do the 14 power-ups there. 14 power-up means a power-up that also... Nice frog fail in the top left. I got a butterfly jar out of it. Also, I go for a swim, and I fail it. So that's like huge problem. I also missed the cloud portal earlier. Those were like the 2 biggest mistakes for me. Spud going back for all Fireball power-ups again in Sunny Beach. Like, I'm still not super on board with this. But because there's like no other reason to be in yeah, let me just mark off what is unavailable at this point in the game with the best color. Like, I don't know if this was the best idea. And Derek is also saying at this point, like when you're down, you have to start sniping. So I don't know if he is assuming Silver is going for all fireball power-ups, but going into a level that only has like a quarter of a goal is generally not the best idea. Like what I'm doing here. Also, I got my 20 orbs in the homeworld. And now I'm just going for rockets. I could have gone for Skelos and Shady Gems, but I thought that that might be something Spud could go for. Because Shady has an 18 power up, so at this point it's a pretty good play to be in Shady. So I figured I would stay away from that. Because I've got 5 goals. I know that I have 6 goals at this point. I know if I get one more, or even if I don't get one more, I know Silver's gonna get 7. Like every game we did, Silver either got 6 or 7 goals. So I was like, well, I got 6, so GG. I'm not gonna get sniped here on anything. Oops. Yeah, this gets marked off. Silver got his last 14 power up in Breeze. That was another good play, and now he's going for Speedway Gems. While I'm going, look at me going for fucking rockets. Just sniping the one in idle. Yeah, once again, we've got Spud doing all fireball power-ups, and Wed doing Hundo Cloud. I'm not super on board. I don't want to be mean, but I'm not super on board with the plays from blue team at this point in the game. I think that this is the best option to do the 2 corners, but regardless. Wed does complete Hundo Cloud. I forget that I've opened Cloud in the top left here. And I'm trying to get out of bounds into Cloud. And then I realized I've got 20 orbs, man. Like, I could just open Cloud. And then I get to here, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's open already. Like, completely. So Spud finishes Aquaria. He's got all fireball power-ups, but he didn't open the wall, so he had to save and quit. I'm going to Cloud because there's a rocket here. I've got the one in idle, Colossus, and Skelos. Wed is going to Canyon Speedway. Silver's going to Icy Speedway. And Spud has to be going to what? Is he going to Skelos at this point? Maybe. Like I said, Skelos is the play right now, for sure. So I unfortunately have to do bells to get back up top. But then I hit the 4th rocket, and then I just stop moving. And that's the game. And then Silver finishes up all gems and 3 speedways. Maybe Spud would have hit these 2 goals. And I think he was the furthest along in butterfly jars. Silver would have done gulp skip, and that would have been the end, I think. If we went to full blackout. What we do in these games is we just go to 13 goals, and then the majority is inevitable. You cannot come back from a 13 goal opposing team. So I didn't realize how quickly GDQ cut us off though, because I think I went to do like some funny stuff. Yeah, I think I went to like Hurricanes and started doing like the big squeeze proxy. But they pretty quickly cut us off. And that was the end of that. Yeah, thanks for watching.